Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Lashes from the Lisa Lashes School of Music, and you are listening to the LLSOM Kickstart to Your Musical Journey podcast.
Right, hello and welcome to Lisa Lashes School of Music podcast. I'm Liam Croney, and today I'm with James McGarry. How are you, James McGarry?
Yeah, I'm really well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. So all I'm going to do is ask you about your time on the Kickstart scheme, a little bit about yourself, and then what your plans might be after the Kickstart scheme. So I'll start off with tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
Yeah, sure. I'm 20. I'm just about to turn 24 in a few weeks. Yeah, I've been with the Kickstart scheme for a good 3 and a bit months now. Yeah, it's been really good. I've been working on alongside the social media team, creating all the sort of video content.
What made you want to join this Kickstart scheme?
Well, I was looking for any sort of creative role that would come up at the time. I didn't get the impression that this role was exactly what it actually turned out to be. If anything, it sort of turned out even better than I'd hoped. I when it's to do with events, which I assumed it would be starting, venues and
Yeah,
live events, but it's been more to do with social media and content creation. But that's even better for me because that's more my area.
that's good to hear. Yeah. So what do you enjoy the most about this Kickstart scheme? I guess.
Well, I would have thought it would have been making music production, such as at the moment we're working on productions for like a yoga class, hotels, and that's definitely my sort of area. But it
Yeah,
turned out to be video creation. It's something that I've been able to do. It's been in my sort of portfolio that I can do basic sort of video editing as well
yeah,
as music. But then it turned out that's exactly what I'd love to do because it's the best of both worlds. It's slightly outside my comfort zone, but also quite rewarding as well. So
uh,
yeah, I like doing the social media content creation the most.
yeah.
Um,
'Cause I saw everyone was going on about your a couple of your TikToks that you've made so far as well. People seem to really enjoy them, don't they?
yeah, it's amazing to see that as well because I've never done anything like that.
Yeah, it's good to get you out your comfort zone and get out and try new things, isn't it? Is that something you feel you've kind of gained a skill from now, and you're a bit more confident from it, maybe?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's all because of this role. I feel like I've changed because of it.
Yeah,
We're looking into me potentially becoming a leader, which is something I never thought I would do. I always thought I'm a team player. I'm never a team leader. And also just I'm not really someone who likes to show my face, or really tell people a lot about myself in terms of social media and stuff. I don't like putting myself out there because I'm thinking, why do people need to know what I'm having for tea or what I've been up to this week?
yeah,
Uh, I'm
I
not
agree.
someone who pushes that. But then joining this Kickstart, it's like I've got to film myself and add personality to the page to bring people in. I was thinking that's what the page needs, but I'm thinking I can't just say it and not be doing it myself, so I just pushed myself to do it. It's crazy that my personality's changed within literally just over 3 months.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. And I believe you did a Instagram takeover, didn't you? And to say you didn't, you're not a very social media type guy. How did you find that?
I thought it was brilliant, to be honest.
Yeah. Did you get much
Yeah, it
engagement?
was. Sorry, go on.
Did you get much engagement with people watching?
I didn't actually check like the viewership, but
Yeah,
because mostly I was constantly getting questions and I was
that's good.
busy answering them. And you do a number of takes, so one question at a time takes a little while. But
Yeah,
no, I thought it was really good. You don't really have to follow. You don't need to prepare a script or anything like that. You just let people come with you with a question, just like we are now. I don't have to prepare for it,
mm,
and you just ask me about myself, and I can tell you because it's about me. It's my story. Do you know what I mean? Um, it was very rewarding to be honest, and I'm looking forward to doing that again.
yeah. Good. So you feel like you've been able to implement the skills that you've learned from this Kickstart into whatever you do outside of this scheme as well to
Yeah,
do that.
definitely. I mean, I'm going to be pushing myself to everyone now that I'm not just a musician. I'm not someone who has 10 years of music background. I'm a content creator, and
That's
I've never even thought of it that way. I'm thinking, yeah, I can do a bit of graphic design. Yeah, I could do a little bit of video editing. Yeah, I can make some visuals for like live projections. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm a content creator. I'm not just a musician. I
yeah,
can do a little bit of everything.
yeah, for sure. So outside of the scheme, you create your own music. Um, do you produce or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. I have like an ambient alias,
Yeah,
which basically it's quite personal music to me. It's sort of compositional stuff. It's quite experimental. It's quite dark. It's not for everyone, but I'm sort of hoping to become a composer one day.
oh,
Maybe not full time, but I'd like to delve into that at one point. Professionally write a track or a whole soundtrack for a short film, but a real proper production, and that's sort of basically a portfolio towards that. And his name is James Robert.
right, okay. That sounds really exciting. And does the intermediate, learning different skills on whatever, like Logic or whatever we use, have you found like Sonny's lessons or Brandon's lessons to come in handy with you coming up with like your ambient stuff?
Yeah, it's been a lot more like we've been given a lot more freedom. Sonny understands that a lot of us intermediates, we've got years of experience, and he's like, I'm just giving you a sort of a guide, these sort of first steps in where you should approach this project. He's very much left about you should do this, you should do that, and it's great to just hear from someone who's successful in it,
Yeah,
and
cool.
even them opening their own projects and showing us what he's done or how he would approach something. It's great to see that. That's been most of the like benefit we've had from Sonny.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like most of the people that we come in contact with on here are something to do within the music industry, and it's all about network, isn't it? I'm sure you'll find as well. How have you found getting on with other people on this scheme, and have you created any like maybe any friends or collaborations outside of it as well?
I've definitely built a number of friends, especially a good few that I want to keep in contact with after this. When, as you say, when networking, this opportunity is just it's incredible, really, for networking. You give your track to everyone on the Kickstart, you've got a
Yeah,
good 70 to 100 plays already, and they give it to their friends. It just multiplies like crazy. But it's not just about exposure, but it's just brilliant to have all these other people with different backgrounds. Some create metal, some create sort of pop, hip
yeah,
hop, some rap. And then there's people like me who like to make weird compositions, like to
yeah,
make basically really creepy sounds, and sort of experiment outside of conventional music. But it's brilliant. We all come together and we mesh in a way that works just incredibly well. I'm surprised how well it works because
yeah.
not everyone likes the same sort of stuff.
So for people that maybe starting out in like Logic or other DAWs, how do you get yourself into the mindset of being creative? Is that something you find hard or easy?
It can of course be hard. I mean, I do not believe when people say I've never had writer's block. I'm like,
Oh no,
I,
yeah.
I don't believe you because
Sometimes it lasts for
it
a week,
happens.
can't it?
What I like to do, literally, I've got something right here. I like to think outside the box. I'm like, well, I don't know what to do to generate this idea. I just
Yeah,
went, let's get a random code and just try and translate that to music. And this looks like writings of a psychopath, but essentially this is it's blurred out because of my camera. It's the
yeah,
numbers in pi, and I'm trying to sort of conceptualize them into musical notation.
yeah,
I always try and do stuff like that. I try and get something that might be pre-existing, and trying to conceptualize it. So was it 3.14159, and then I'd go -3 semitones from the root, and then +1, +4, -1, etc. And then I come out with a musical idea, and I've created a piece of music just from random numbers, essentially.
That's crazy.
Randomization as well is probably my main thing that I use. If I'm not sure what I'm doing or how to approach a particular brief, or I want to make some music, I want to be creative, but I don't like anything that I'm making. It's like, let randomization try to make the music, and you turn into the technical musician or the technical producer, where you're thinking, what's going on with this sound? How can we make it sound better, etc. I try to think out the box as much as I can.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That I've not heard anyone get over writer's block like that before. Anyway, I mean, sometimes it can last for a good week for me, writer's block. I think you've just got to try and get yourself into that zone. Maybe I'd try and listen to like a couple of podcasts, or maybe like about my favorite artist or something, and try and I'll take myself back to that artist or band that first got me into playing music or writing music, to inspire you again, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Music being inspired. In the A&R groups, what sort of music have you really enjoyed making?
I'm quite enjoying our current project where we've got to make ambient, because it's my area. I can remember Brandon telling us in the meeting, he said, this week we're going to make ambient music. I was just there thinking, yes, it's my time to sort of do exactly what I would typically do, which is, and it's something I never expected we'd be doing, because the different types of music that we have done, they've been a lot more open-ended and sort of more conventional. That sounds like a criticism. Not really. Just the majority of people would make something like this. This is something that appeals to the minority. So it really appeals to me. But also in our first project when I joined, they wanted us to make sports intros, like walk-ins. And I created a particular track which has never made anything like it in my life, but I made a funk track.
I remember it. It was good.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I think I went through a phase where I just listened to James Brown for ages. I know I listened to him for a while. I bought one particular album and it just got me going. I could not stop listening to him.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned James Brown before this when we was talking, and you said you're going to implement it into what is it? You're in the social media group?
Yeah.
So you're going to try and implement like some things that you find interesting. Hopefully, some other people will as well. So you mentioned James Brown. What are you doing with that?
Yeah. So well, with the social media, I'm one of the few that's working particularly in TikTok.
Yeah.
And one thing we were trialing was music documentaries. That was something I always quite enjoyed. There's one particular one on YouTube about Brian Eno and Harold Budd, and it's just the music, it's photographs of them, it's some like beautiful stock footage that accompanies the music, and then it's compiled with like interviews and recordings of them talking about the music. It's so simplistic, but it's quite appealing, and it's like a very relaxing way to sort of learn about musical history. So I really wanted to do that, and I started making one about Sid Barrett, and that's on our page at the moment. It done pretty well, so now we're looking at making more, and I'm looking at all of the greats in music, really. Any of the sort of people that everyone wants to learn about, I want to go about and work about them. So, and at the moment we've got a James Brown video. Actually, I'm uploading it today.
Oh, nice.
In a few hours time. It's just about what was it? He talks about what soul music is to him, and like what is his message and what drives him. And yeah, we got a couple of good interviews about him. and just some really good performances from him as always.
As always, yeah.
They're very sort of satisfying videos to watch, and I'm looking to create a lot more of those.
I mean, for people who want to get involved in music, I'm sure, like like we did before this, and we couldn't really find anything. Would you want Lisa Lashes to do this again?
100%. I mean, it's just brilliant, isn't it? It's a really good opportunity for everyone to actually be making like a living from something that they enjoy and something that they love, and they can come to this realization there and then whether it is what they want to do, if like this is it. Like,
Yeah.
is this what you want to be doing? And you'll come to that realization then. There are a few people who might have left, might go on to do something else, but there's other people like me who I don't want to leave. I want to keep going.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing better than just getting up and opening up your laptop and making music, is there? Like, we're living the dream, really, aren't we?
No, no.
Pay for it as well.
John Lennon said, he said, if you love what you do, then you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's so true. So you definitely would recommend it to other people.
100%.
Yeah.
There's not. Don't think there's anything any more satisfying than work. Even when I went on like a 5-day holiday, I was just thinking I want to get back to work. Like I enjoy it.
Oh yeah. How do you find working online, working from home? Have you done it before?
I've never done it before. I finished university the year before we went into lockdown,
Yeah.
and I was fairly glad about it, thinking, I don't think I wanted to go through university
Yeah.
constantly online. I didn't want to go through that, and I didn't know what it would be like doing this role being completely online. But it's not really been a problem at all.
No.
Well, I'm quite blessed because I have 2 different machines. So if there's a problem, I just go on to the other one. But
Yeah.
there can be a few technical difficulties at times. But I would say a good 90% of the time there's not really a problem with it.
Mm.
And it's quite good because it's so like instant. You don't have to wait for a certain date to get a hold of someone. You could just contact them directly and
Yeah.
find out directly. You could be in a meeting, you get an idea just as you're about to go in, and you can quickly raise your hand and discuss this idea you have,
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
anything that you've got a problem with. You're always talking to them. It's every other day we're in contact with our managers.
Yeah.
So if there's anything like going on that we think we need to address, that sounds kind of negative, but I mean anything that we need to address, like, oh, by the way, I'm going on holiday in a few weeks, or
Yeah.
oh, by the way, I was wondering about this problem we might have, or oh, by the way, I have
Yeah.
this idea that we could look at doing. I've got a better solutions or something. You can just address it to them straight away, and it's brilliant that.
So, you're not going to be in this Kickstart forever, unfortunately. What are do you have any plans after this?
I'm really hoping to continue social media, to be honest,
Hmm.
particularly with Lisa Lashes School Music. In a way, I'm thinking when this scheme finishes, like, who is going to be running this social media? I'm going to really try and push myself to be that person, because there's a couple of people who have stayed, and I'm hoping to be one of them. I really like our team members. Um, and if so, I've got like equipment in a digital basket away somewhere where I really want to take it completely professionally. Um, but yeah, I mean that's what I'm hoping to do, if not a similar area.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's not easy to find other things, and this has been one of them opportunities where it's like a once in a lifetime thing, really, isn't it? I think we'll leave it there, mate, if that's all right.
Yeah, no, that's all good with me.
It's been really good to talk to you and get your opinion on it, everything, and what you do. And yeah, it's been really good talking to you, mate. Thank
Yeah,
you
no
very much.
worries. Thank you.
No worries, man. Thanks for coming on.